Hi, everyone. So my name is Magda, and I am data evangelist at Toloka, and I would like to tell you a bit more about our platform. So I would like to start talking about AI products and different pillars that are main building blocks of modern AI. So mostly current AI and machine learning solutions are based on three different pillars, and those are hardware, algorithms, and data. And in the last decade, the first two pillars, hardware and algorithms, have been vastly explored, and a lot of good solutions have appeared in those areas. So like in hardware, for example, we have really good storage facilities such as Azure, Google Cloud, Yandex Cloud, AWS, and the same with computing power available on this platform. In the algorithm section, we also had really good development. There was a lot of libraries that has been introduced, such as TensorFlow, PyTorch, Keras, scikit-learn, etc. However, the data pillar has not been explored so much, and it's actually been kind of abandoned, but this is changing right now. And this is actually a place where there is still a lot of improvement that could be done. And the Toloka is one of the tools that is designed to help you with proceeding in this third data pillar. And I would like you to pay your attention here to a machine learning life cycle. And even though the data part has not been explored vastly, it is actually a very important part of a machine learning life cycle. So normally we start with the data collection. At the beginning of the project, we do some kind of data curation in order to create data sets. Then we use them to train the models. And again, we need some data to evaluate our models to see how well they perform. And this process kind of continues all the time. It's iterative until we push our model to production. As you can see, the data is involved almost in every step in this machine learning pipeline. And actually, Toloka can help you with different steps here, including data collection, data curation, and also model evaluation, and even model monitoring once your models are in deployment. So what is Toloka? Toloka is a data labeling solution that powers many different AI products. We've been labeling data for over 10 years. As I mentioned before, we are primarily focused on data labeling, but you can use Toloka also to gather data or gather data to evaluate or monitor the models as well. And you can see different companies that have been using successfully Toloka in the recent years. We have Toloka have been used across different industries. It's actually very flexible because you can design your own interfaces. You could actually label any kind of data. That's why we have different examples from different fields, such as e-commerce, natural language processing, computer vision projects, training data for voice assistants, and also maybe non-machine related, but you can also use Toloka for field data collection projects. We basically right now have three different types of solutions that could actually benefit three different types of clients. So the first type of a solution that we can provide is customizable solution. This is when you want to your project to be flexible. You want to design your own user interface. You would like to choose your own performance that would label your data. Basically, it's a project that gives you a lot of flexibility. You can use Toloka and decide what are the rules, very detailed rules for your own project. We have also a second type of solution that we provide. It's called ready-to-go solution. And this is targeting people who do not want to have such a strict control, but rather would have results in a timely manner, and they do not want to be bothered by setting up their own quality control rules and looking for performers. And we've been also working on the third type of product to offer, and those are adaptive machine learning models. So basically, we provide you a model that is already trained, and you can add your own data in order to retrain and kind of tune your own model to suit your needs. And I would like you to show some examples. So here, there are 3 different examples of the project that has been set up with ready-to-go solutions. And the first example is text classification. The second example is image annotation. And the third is image classification. What's very useful in ready-to-go solution is the fact that before you start labeling, you know exactly how much each label will cost you. So you can see this information before you start the project. Another example is from our customizable solutions. And here you have 4 different examples of projects that have been run to Toloka, and you can see how much each project have costed and how long it took to collect the data. So, for example, for object classification project, in order to annotate 1,000 photos with bounding boxes, it took around 15 minutes and it costed $2.40. The second project that has been run in Toloka was transcribing audios, and we have collected 100 different recordings in 20 minutes, and it costed $12. You can also run side-by-side comparison to, for example, ask about which design is better, or if the photo contains the same person, etc. And in order to process 1,000 photos that way, it took 10 minutes and costed around $5. We have run projects also with the object segmentation, and we have segmented 1,000 different objects in 100 photos in 5 hours, and it costed $7 here. I would like to tell you a bit more now about our speed of our solutions, quality, and scaling. So as mentioned above, before we have 3 different types of solutions, but what distinguish ourselves here on the market is that we provide data labeling solutions on different labels. We provide auto labeling solutions with pre-trained models. We also have tools to select performance in a smart way. And we also provide open source libraries and powerful API to interact with our platform. Additionally, on the performer side, we have a huge crowd that lives in 100 different countries, that speaks more than 40 different languages. And this crowd is available all the time, 24/7. And if you would like to run a project on Toloka, you could count that there is over 20K monthly users. And on daily basis, there are 800 projects run in Toloka. And there is almost 500 billion tasks per month processed currently in Toloka. And on this slide, you can see the distribution of our crowd. And as mentioned before, you can see that our crowd speaks different languages. They are distributed in different countries, in different time zones. And this is what makes our crowd available all the time. And once you have access to the crowd that is available all the time, you can treat this crowd as another computing cluster. So once you design a project with Toloka, usually your project consists of 4 different steps that you can see here. So the first step is choosing the crowd. So you can choose if your performers speak a particular language, if what is their age, what kind of device they should be using, etc. What you do next, you should train your crowd. So this is, you can provide different training examples and then try to assess the skills of the performers. The third step, and this is probably one of the most important ones, is to design quality control rules. So because it's a crowd solution that we provide, we need to control the crowd. We would like to basically avoid any people that are have some dishonest behavior or are not doing our tasks correctly. And this is where we need to introduce some special rules with Toloka. And Toloka is very good with helping us to establish those rules. And the last step is actually gathering the results. So when you do data labeling tasks, you usually do not give the task only to one person, but rather to several people. And then you use some algorithms in order to aggregate the final results. So this is more or less how the whole process would look like in Toloka. And additionally, we provide user interface, but also a very important part is that we also provide an APIs. And the first API that we have created for you, or the first actually library that uses our API, is a Python library called Toloka Kit. This is a library that you can create a Toloka object and basically interact and set up all the project and quality control rules via this kit. We also provide a Java client, Java API that does that it basically behaves very similar to the Toloka kit. And there is a third open source library that we have prepared for you. It's called CrowdKit. And this library deals with aggregating the results. So as mentioned before, usually several people are labeling the same task, and this library can be used in order to aggregate those results. And last but not least, we've been working with different companies such as Prefect and Airflow in order to integrate Toloka within those tools. And those are basically tools that you can use to orchestrate different Toloka flows. And we've been also actively working with different universities where students and lecturers use Toloka. We've been also involved in many different conferences regarding machine learning, data science, and AI. You can see some of the conferences here at the bottom that we actually have presented our papers, tutorials, and workshops. So we've been quite active in this field as well. And if you would like to try Toloka, this is a QR code for you. You can scan it. This will lead you to our community. We have a community on Slack where we talk about crowdsourcing. We organize different webinars, tutorials, etc. So if you would like to learn more about Toloka and crowdsourcing, you can join our Slack channel. And I think that would be it. Thank you for listening, well, and I hope to see you in our community.